everyone, and good morning to the 18th episode of Ascent Talks. My name is Ajit and I've been an Ascent member for over 10 years and lead Nova, an air conditioning company, and Pure Blue, a tech-enabled startup in the air conditioning domain. And as usual, my co-host is Aleem. Hi, Aleem. How are you doing?
Hi Ajit, good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aleem. I'm the founder and director of Synapse, a creative marketing and advertising company, and I'm excited to have you guys with a very exciting guest today. Right. So,
Amazing.
yes.
Okay, so hang on. Before we actually bring in our guest, for those guys who are joining us for the first time, let's quickly just introduce Ascent. It's a ritual. We got to do it. We're doing Ascent Talks, so we got to actually tell our guys who are reaching us for the first time. Ascent is a not-for-profit expression of Harsh Mariwala, Chairman Marico Limited, and his passion to identify high-potential growth stage entrepreneurs and enable them to grow their enterprise and enrich their entrepreneurial journey. Launched in 2012, Ascent today empowers more than 850 entrepreneurs across India. Ascent is designed as a unique, powerful peer to peer platform that leverages the power of the collective through self facilitated groups called trust groups, which enables entrepreneurs to share and exchange experiences, ideas, insights, and create a healthy ecosystem to learn from each other. Ascent Talks, a weekly event held every Friday at 11 a.m., showcases the Ascent members and their interesting entrepreneurial journeys. So, Ali, let's introduce our guest today.
Absolutely. So please put your hands and your screens together for Mrinali. Mrinali has had a successful corporate career of over 19 years in driving brands, businesses, products, and people in various industries like automobile, FMCG, media, and now pet services. A mechanical engineer who was recruited from XIM, the Aditya Birla Leadership Program. She has had a stint of 8+ years in Skoda Auto Volkswagen Group, where she was part of the organization's management team. A passionate pet enthusiast, Nirali has challenged her love for pets into making their lives easier by trying to make their care easier for families. So at PawPurrfect, they look both at the quality of life as well as health of pets. And PawPurrfect sends pet experts at pets' doorsteps for pet services, insurance, pathology, and a lot of other services. So, putting all that together, Mrinali, welcome to the show and glad to have you
Hi.
here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Mrinali, Mrinali, off the bat, if you can tell us about this industry, I mean, it's very upcoming. I know that this the scale of this is really growing. If you could tell us a little about it. I mean, just FYI, I've had 14 dogs in my life, so I'm a huge dog lover. So yeah.
Oh, so well, you have a dog lover, you have a pet lover, and somebody who likes to see pets in neighbors' houses. So you have got
Ah,
two.
that's
Now,
a
as long
diversity
as
of
you're
asset
happy seeing them, I think we're okay. The ecosystem is good as long as everyone is comfortable. That's all we ask for, right? And we do a bit, Alim and all of us pet lovers, to ensure that you have a good time. Very quickly about the industry, it's growing at about 15 odd percent, 14%. And that's an underestimated number. And in 2021, the number was about 2.9 CR. That was the number that we had. And very quickly, if you look at it, right, and 14% when we were growing, the people don't understand that pet services is the largest part of services. It's almost 60% or 6,000 crores. But when you do the back of the envelope mathematics in 2019, because those are comparable numbers, we had 2.3 CR pets. And when we were estimating the market, we said, let's assume only 20% is our market. And at about 45,000 per year spends on an average on the pet. And Aleem will say that's a very small number because he spends a lot more, I'm quite sure. But if you
Yes.
multiply 45,000 per pet with 20% of 2.3 CR, the number you get to is 20,700 CR, which is about 3.5 times the number of the service that industry that it is in right now. So what we are basically saying is it is an uncatered to market. It is an unaddressed market. It is very unorganized. Pet parents really know what they want, but they're discovering new services as well. So it is one of the fastest growing markets in India, and globally, pet services, India is one of the fastest growing in the world. And we're seeing a lot of action also happen. So it's a good place to be. And the best thing is, as pet lovers, we understand this came from a very genuine need, if I may share. My brother went ahead and got a golden retriever, pedigree golden retriever, bought it online, and then 2 दिन के बाद भैया हमसे तो नहीं हो पाएगा. It was as simple as that. And then if you're the eldest in the family, it comes to you because you're the daughter. Mom comes crying to you, and then it becomes a large part of your responsibility. And you love pets, but then you have no dating life and no social life because हम तो Bruno की सेवा करते हैं हर weekend, right? So that's the place where I landed up. And every time I'd say I need some help, and my brothers were like, "Mom is alone at home, Dad is alone at home. You guys should be able to manage it." And that happened, and I loved everything, but it was a requirement. And then I rescued my pet cat at 10 days old from a gutter in the fish market. Blood, feces, ticks everywhere.
Oh
And
my
I took her home, and I had the misconception that I'm a dog person. I didn't realize there's nothing called a dog or a cat person. And when I looked after her, every 2.5 hours you have to feed. So by the time you put an alarm and you feed her and you go to sleep, it's time for you to get up in 45 minutes. Time is literally like that. 6 weeks, didn't step out of the home, didn't do anything, just looked after my kitten. Now, of course, she's the boss of the house because she's assumed that I'm servant number one because that's what she's seen. But you realize that the requirement is very high, and we have very committed customers who realize that we care. The first thing is, like, when I recruit someone, my first thing is the person high on empathy?
God.
Because your end customer is someone who can't, for lack of a better word, who can't communicate in the right manner. So if you have empathy, and most pet parents are new pet parents, not like Aleem, right? So most pet parents are first-time pet parents. They need a lot of guidance, and it is your responsibility to help them. So that's the direction that we're going. That's how the industry is growing. We are having a great time with it, and it doesn't seem like work to me because my personal aim is there should be no stray dogs on the road. Every dog should be
Wow.
adopted. Sweden has managed to do it. So if they have, then that's where I want to go. No stray dogs, no stray cats. That's about
Wow.
it.
Well, Pranali, you spoke about how big the market is, but just for our viewers, I'm sure majority of them don't have pets, and that's like a no-brainer, and probably most of them are even aspiring. But from a business enterprise, can you actually talk about how did this need come up? What are the different kinds of needs that people are talking about for who are pet lovers or pet parents, as you would call it? What is the kind of solution and services that you've offered, and what is this whole partnerships that you've created? Can you just take us through that entire thing so there's more
So
clarity on that business?
yes. So if you look at the life of a pet from mating and birth to end of life, there is a huge need for services. Foods and gifts, etc., are a much smaller part. Uh, maybe the next slide, the one with the life, please. So no, the next slide, please.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
this is the bouquet of services because this is the entire life, right? And so if you look at it, you bring a pet home, and more often than not, a pet parent is a first time pet parent. He needs to be coached before the pet gets home. So we have a system where the minute you get a pet, or even before you get a pet, call us. We will help you go through the decision of the need arises and help you also be prepared for the pet to come. Then will the training of the pet happen, and that happens over a period of time. And then you might need some behavioral correction things as well. All of that also happens till the early stage of the pet. Then you need a veterinarian who will come in for the initial set of inoculations and other vaccinations and things like that. That goes on to the end of the life of the pet. Then you start grooming, then you need walking, sitting, boarding. And one of the things that people have not understood is that getting a pet is getting a person home. He's not a stuffed toy. And they go through the same kind of health requirements that we have, from a young child to much older, and the requirements are there. And I'll take a moment to share this. Maharashtra is one of the largest number of pets. It also has the largest number of veterinary colleges that are there, which is 5. But the total number of vets that come out is only 450, of which 200 are from outside states. Now imagine Punjab, which has the largest, one of the large numbers of animals, the land of milk and honey. And they have only 100 students coming out. So out of 450, 200 go outside the state. Then they do MPSC, UPSC, family business, go and join the food businesses. You get about 100 new vets for what are called small animals for all of Maharashtra. Now, the number of pets is about 35 lakhs in Maharashtra. Every 5 years, it's going to double. So in about 10 years' time, you're going to land up with uh, 1.4 CR pets, or the delta in
Wow.
10 years' time is going to be over a CR. But the number of vets you'll have is only 1,000, right? And if you have only 1,000 vets, and some will have retired as well, so the number is 750. Imagine 750 vets for 1 crore plus dogs. The It is unimaginable the situation that we are going to land up in, and it is going to be a social issue that will happen because there'll be abandonment of pets. The cost of medication is going to go very high. People don't realize that you really need to look after these pets, how complicated it is. uh, it's a different realm altogether. So what we always tell people is we haven't gone into genetic testing, which you should do and understand what propensity for what disease, but at least know your breed of pets. Do pathology tests every year, the way we do for you and me, right? Beyond a certain age, we do it. So do the blood test. You'll understand what the health of your pet is like. It shouldn't come to it's gone to stage 3, renal failure has happened, and then I'm running around desperately and buying renal food. That shouldn't happen to your pet.
Yeah.
Do the tests and then buy pet insurance. And we are actually getting into this place of where you can say X number of groomings a year plus a path test, which is right for your breed of pets. And I've analyzed the 267 breeds of dogs that the American Kennel Association recognizes, or the 160 plus India has, so that we recommend the right package for you as well. Because some breeds are more for respiratory issues, others will have more heart issues, others will have more blood related issues. So we do all of that and then take a package of grooming plus pathology plus insurance, which is right for you. And then you know at a much lesser cost when the problem arises, you're ready. If in the 5th or 6th year you get in, you can't even get insurance because after the 5th year, your dog is not going to be allowed insurance. Similarly, chip your dog and register your dog's birth so that you're able to prove that your dog is this young, and then your insurance doesn't get refused. Now, this amount of thought is not something that's really happening in a lot of parents' minds because वो ना बच्चे ने मांगा बड़े प्यार से लेकर आए हमारा बच्चा है बेड में सोता है you wait second year third year fourth year and the responsibility then dawns, and sometimes it's a little too late because we hear stories of, oh, he died in the third year, all of a sudden there's an organ collapse. And earlier it was okay, we put them down. Now there are babies. We hand feed our dogs. My father would not tolerate a drop of dal on the table if it fell off the plate. And then he would sit and hand feed Bruno, khale beta, khale. Tumne savere se khaya. And he's sitting on the ground hand feeding the dog. And I think he got forgiven a lot of strictness he did when we were children simply because he showered that kind of love on the pet. And
Amazing.
A lot of thought
You know,
needs to go there, and we're trying to address it. We're the only ones who
Mrinalini,
globally.
yeah,
In fact,
it's a
um,
question that I had for Aleem after looking
uh,
at the services that were provided. Tell me something, Aleem. Do you believe in afterlife?
Afterlife. So I'll tell
Yeah.
you a very funny story about this one. Again, I'm going to take half a minute on this one. But I honestly believe that there's a dog that I had rescued from SPCA. Okay, and for some funny reason, we had to kind of give her away for because of something that happened very personally. And a year later, I got another dog, and she was the exact replica of what my previous dog was. I've written an article on it. It's called, I don't remember what not. It was Reincarnated Paws. That was the name of the article. And I actually believe that my dog came back.
Dude, I saw the services and I said, I want to be a golden retriever in my next life. I made up my mind already.
sorry, you're
I want to
going
be a
to.
Goldie. I want to be a Goldie in my next life. It
It
just seems
used
to
to
be good. The
happen. My
services are
mother's
fantastic, man.
Bhobi's son, one day he says, Madam, अगले जन्म में मैं आपके जैसे सेठ के घर में ना कुत्ता बन के आऊंगा. Because his father would be on his behind saying, do this, do this, do this. And all Bruno has to do is eat, play, and let people pamper him. That's about it, right? It's a blessed life. It's a
Yeah,
blessed
yeah,
Yeah, but
life.
Mrinalini,
absolutely.
you must also share with us. You actually moved from a professional corporate enterprise doing extremely well. How was that transition from being a professional, sitting up high up there in the corporate, and then moving into entrepreneurship? You must tell us, how was that? How easy was it? Was it really a cakewalk? Share with us that whole journey.
Sir, okay, I will start off by saying, because I know I will say this is this, this is this. So I'm going to say Oakley Miss Jaan ke sar dala tha. So I am responsible for it. No one else is responsible for my troubles. Number one. Uh, Number two, it's not been easy. any, like for example, at the end of last month we were in the front of Midday. Then the traction rating came out and it put us 19th in the rankings globally for early level startups to be invested in. And now this will come out tomorrow and people will be like, oh, Mrinalini is on the roll. Like, Mrinalini is on the roll. You have no idea what's happening behind, the amount of stress that is there. uh, as simple as I've done audits for Skoda. We fired people. एक एक letter पे 75 लोगों को fire किया. कोई stress नहीं हुआ. Somehow it didn't bother. And then I had someone in the organization who kind of was unscrupulous with money. And the way it hit me personally, and the way it came home saying that the amount of trust that you give when you build the team, it's a very different journey. I'm jumping between points, but the bottom line is it's a different kind of stress. It's a different level of stress. And you have to be very aware of what you've gotten into. And more than that, I would say, and I just said that recently to my Ascent group, the trust group, I said, keep your karma ka ghada full. Before you become an entrepreneur, ensure that you've done enough good in the world, because the amount of love, support, understanding, and literally people whipping out their checkbooks when needed is so important. Where you believe that nothing's going to come and then someone just walks in the front and just hands you over something and you thank. People say, I made my opportunity, I did this is my success. Sorry, no. All of that you did, if your pot of karma was not right and you didn't have the kind of support that you needed at the right minute, this is not going to happen for you. And there are no shortcuts. It's been otherwise, look, it's okay. I've managed very large teams. I've handled stressful situations. I've done business planning. I was always someone who moved between industries. I've always been a cross-functional people. I've been good at handling even conflict for that matter. Over the years in corporate India, I learned not to speak my mind so much as I used to do. So I kind of learned to temper that a little bit, of saying, Jane, 4 plus 4 is 99. Yes, of course, 4 plus 4 is 99. Right now, I need you to finish this for me. And I have done all of that. But more than anything else, you need the goodwill of people. If your karma ka ghada is not full, right, I don't think I would have survived COVID. I don't think I would have been where I am. The advisors that I have, the well-wishers, yeah, of course, I will connect you to this person. I'll give you a very simple example. A friend, I had a very bad, very stressful discussion with a B-school senior of mine who finally did put in money at 12:30 in the night on Sunday because she was based out of Texas. And I was very stressed. And I don't know what. I called a message of engineering friend of mine saying, Tere paas cash pada hai, meko pata hai, de diyo. Literally, that is it. Next day, his wife messages saying, I want to talk to you. And I was like, Gaya, paisa to aaya nahi, friend bhi chala gaya. Right? And the day after, she talks to me and I get into a pitch trying to, tell her, please, this is a serious conversation. I've not been, messing with your husband in the night. And she says, Mrinalini, mera pati pattu hai, usse kuch hone nahi wala hai. This is my money. Will you take this money from me? And I was like, oh my God. And she says, I know your work ethic. I've seen how you talk to my husband. I know how much you work for a corporate. So I know how much you work so hard for your business. I'm a doctor. So she's a lady Hardinge, MD and things like that. She says, I don't understand anything. But what I do understand is who you are as a person, and here is your money. So I think you don't know which interaction of yours will give you the kind of support that you need. So it's tough, it's ruthless. Too many people will say no, but you need just that bunch of people to say yes to you, and that is what keeps you alive, I think.
Absolutely. And Mrinalini, if you can tell us, like I remember earlier when, I had a dog earlier, and, I had to take him to the vet for every, even cutting a nail and things like that. But today, obviously, it pinches in the pocket when you have to actually send. So my wife's parlor bill is not as much as my dog's parlor bill. But just tell us, what are the challenges and what is the, changes you brought in this industry when you kind of got into this business? And, just for our viewers, when they get into such kind of business, what kind of challenges do they face?
So viewers, for what kind of challenges they will face. The first one is the talent crunch, where you will end up developing a lot of talent. So for example, when I started with the app, and we had, you have the sellers app and then you have the seekers app as it is. So the sellers app had 7,000 downloads. 7,000 people wanting to be walkers, sitters, groomers, breeders. That made us the largest, only second to Wagon Rover in the US. Nobody in Asia, Australia, even Europe. But when you start looking at the quality of those people, do I dare send those people? Definitely not. Of course, we do a lot of background checks as well. So the same as the banks will do, we do that. Then we look at their quality. We've also standardized, for example, a lot of the processes. And so many of these guys are like, Madam, aapne to business abhi chalu kiya, main 15 saal se kar raha hu. And you have to realize that he might think he's successful, but he doesn't have a lot of repeat customers. And I'm in the business of repeat customers, not one-time customer. So you have to actually say no, and he doesn't understand why he's not getting business. Because in my app, it's very simple. I just have to block the person, and he doesn't get any more requests for service. Life is a little easy that way. So one is the entire manpower aspect of it. The second part of it is actually the tech part. When you're a startup founder, finding the right. So I was very lucky. Someone I had mentored when he was getting into B school was the guy who did my first app. And I was very clear, it has to operate like an Ola Uber, and it has to look like an Insta. I will not make a scratch product. I'm someone who will sharpen my axe for 10 hours and then cut the tree down in 1 hour rather than hacking away at a tree. So I did a lot of research. This gentleman helped me. So I ensured that my app was good. So any investor who downloads it knows that she's at a certain quality level already, even at pre-seed. So that was good. Number 3 is do a lot of research. People say fail quick, fail early, fail quick. I'm like, why do I want to fail? Why do I want to spend money on it? I would rather get things right, after which I will then do what I have to do. So for example, if you look at my business, we have the traditional services, then it is pathology, then it is insurance. I concentrated on one, got it to a certain level. Then I'm doing pathology, then I'm doing insurance, and I go all India with it. This was built into my program 2 years back. This is not something that I built now and then I'm pivoting. Build your pivots in the system so that there are higher levels of efficiency. And because I'd done the first bit so well, my path partners, for example, oldest in Bombay, 30 years old, in India actually, 30 years old, or 4 PhDs in pathology and animal care. You don't have that, right? The Abhivriddhi, incidentally, is from the tie-up that I have had from Ascent. The kind of help that I've had from Ascent is brilliant. Even for my New Bombay and other partners that I'm looking at making, again, another Ascent person. So get your networking also in the right place as well.
Yes.
Networking and be genuine with your network.
So,
Right?
but Mrinalini, since you spoke about Ascent, why don't you share with our viewers about your Ascent journey? Tell us, how did Ascent happen to you, and how has it been, that experience? What's it
So
been there for
Ascent
Ascent?
happened to me because I went on a Bumble date with somebody.
Oh.
And he told me, look at Ascent. And he, of course,
This is an entire new space, dude. Now we need to be taking Ascent Talks to Bumble and Tinder
Bumble.
and
Oh,
everything.
Bumble is, and I am putting it out. I want Bumble to have me as the biggest endorser. I have had the best number of LinkedIn. Bumble has worked better for me than LinkedIn. Let me just put it to you out there. I have met founders.
That's
I have
amazing.
met interesting people. So when I write a person name, I'm horrible at names. So I write Bumble. So they also have my work numbers. So I'm not kidding you. My team says, "Aapka Bumble ka friend ka phone hai." So my team also knows कि ये Bumble पे मिल रहा है. I'm not kidding. And so, and I don't want to take names, have come and helped me optimize my media, come and help me with my events. We become good friends. Now when they're dating other people, I'm friends with those people as well. So there is nothing under the table about it. So it's interesting. That's number 1. Number 2, you also walk away from some very irritating conversation, but that's okay. So it's the world.
Ascent journey, bata. Bumble nahi, Bumble
now
journey nahi,
I'm
Ascent journey.
coming to it. Now the next thing is Ascent journey. It was so simple. I applied. I got shortlisted within a few weeks. I had my interview within a few days. And after that, I had a group. And I had been told it takes time. It takes so much time. I was warned it might take you up to 8 months to get a group and things like that.
Yeah.
And instead, I found myself with this bunch of people who, very simply, we had, the Ascent annual conference. I was talking to one guy, and he came and sat next to me because he's an old business associate of mine, someone really nice. Each of these guys came back and they looked at him. Who are you? Who are you? तो मैंने बाद में पूछा, मैं कहा, सर आप क्या कर रहे थे? हमारा फर्ज बनता है. Who you are talking to, we need to look after. I'm one girl, 10 men. The way they protect me, the way they look after my interests. Uh, our constitution said you can't do business within the group, and I needed to work with the gentleman from Abhivriddhi. And I called up my facilitator and I said, I might have to leave the group. This I can't do without him because he's a gem of a person. He's just right for us. Can you please allow me to at least come for the next session? This one I can't come because as the Bombay Presidency Kennel Club, the dog show, I'm the secretary treasurer. I can't attend. Please. 2 दिन के बाद the call come back and said they all changed the constitution for you because they want you to do well. I was not even at the meeting. I didn't have to present my case. They and when we talk about burning issues, when we talk about what we should do, and it is really we have moved from being cagey and being polite to a place where तू ढीला हो गया है तू गल्ले पे बैठता नहीं है. This is why you are having that problem. Now you go there and you sit there and we discuss things like, for example, we were having a discussion about someone is getting a beautiful valuation and wants to possibly sell some equity and things like that. And my question, hi, this is Mau Mau, my cat. He keeps invigilating on what my activities are. So that's where she is. And so we ask them, what do you want in life? So we start from relationship within the family, relationship with friends. What do we want in life? What are our targets? Where we are going? And there are groups which are like 10 years old, Ajit, for example. You guys apparently look at each other's P&Ls as well and actually support each other. We are slowly getting into that place. And I think it's just amazing. And we're holding on to each other, trying to people have problems. I might have to move up the group, and the whole group is adjusting and going to Goa because someone has moved to Goa, and coming down from Goa every time is not convenient. So we'll come to Goa, but we will not let you go.
Wow.
So amazing. It's like that. So Ascent has been brilliant, and especially for a corporate like me. My friends are there. They're my sounding boards. But they can't identify with some of the problems. Like, for example, I have been someone who was financially not okay and had to take him to the police thana and things like that. वो मेरे को बहुत पर्सनल लेवल पे लगा. मेरी टीम को तो इतने पर्सनल लेवल पे लगा कि मैं कहा चलो मैं ऑफिस में पूजा करा देती हूँ, आपका मन शांत हो जाएगा, kind of a thing. And one senior gentleman, Sumit, comes and tells me, Mrinalini, a whole lot will happen. Have a drink, shrug it off, move on. The bigger you are, the more tougher it's going to be. So do not indulge yourself. This is not the time to tell yourself, hi, nothing. Deal with it, move on. And that was so much better feedback than all my corporate friends. So I think it makes sense for a lot of startup people or those who are not from family businesses to actually come in because it works at a different level.
Amazing. That's too good, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mrinali, I think. Sorry. So I think Mrinali, we're just about 2 minutes away from our 30 minutes commitment. But I tell you, it's been fantastic. You've been the first dog lover who's come on and set up the business. And to actually give credit to Mau Mau, we will have Mau Mau walk on the screen for you.
You are brilliant. You are brilliant. My goodness.
So this is only for you because you spoke. So the chat figures out, the screen figures out.
Yes,
it's
there
got
she's
AI
coming,
tells you.
going meow to me right now as well. There she's just. I don't know if you can see her. There she is. She's like, okay, I heard my name. I need to, yeah.
But amazing. But it's been fantastic listening to you. What a fabulous story of taking your passion and converting it into business. Hope this becomes the biggest pet company in this country, and we will be all very
why India? Why India?
Across
We
the
never
globe.
designed this for India. We designed it for the
Point
globe.
taken.
Mama
For the globe. We designed
भरा हुआ है. कर्मा का घड़ा भरा हुआ है, हो जाएगा global.
Let's go for the globe.
Paying into it, I have to keep paying into it. You just can't make withdrawals only.
But Mrinali, thank you so much. Actually, it's been fantastic listening to you and a fabulous story. Thank you very much. We're grateful that you came online. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Wow, that's amazing. So we had a very interesting story today. That was fabulous. And before we wind up, this is the end of the show. And two things as usual. Like us, share it, share the Ascent stories. It's on various podcasts. Listen to us, follow us on LinkedIn, share it with your friends, and you'll get a new story every Friday at 11 a.m. And listening to other entrepreneurs is learning it. I mean, you never know what is it that motivates you, what is it that triggers a thinking process in you. It's 30 minutes of power pack session. But if you are ready as a growth entrepreneur, then get to ascentfoundation.in and make an application. The Ascent team will get in touch with you and they will evaluate your business and you. And if you're truly growth ready, we will be happy to have you as a member or as part of our cohort. So that's it for today. And we're going to come back to you next Friday at 11 a.m. with another interesting entrepreneurial journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Take care. See you soon.
See you soon, guys. See you. Absolutely fine. Bye.